If you want to know how to guarantee kills when using the operator, then stick around, man. I guarantee you're not going to be disappointed. Let's get it. Alright, first things first, how much damage does the operator do? Everybody know the operator is a one-shot kill. But if we go into the details of it, it does 255 to the head, 150 to the body, and 120 to the legs. Now you're wondering why this is important. For one specific reason only. So this is important because if you're trying to get a wall bang with the op, you have to aim for the head. You can aim for the chest or the lower body part, but it's not always a guaranteed kill. So if you're trying to get a wall bang, you usually aim for the head. And just like that, will guarantee a kill. Okay, so now that we know how much damage the op does, how do you actually peek with the op? So let me show you. So usually you're going to be holding long angles with the op starting out. So if you actually zoom in, you can see that there's a red dot sight right in the middle of the scope. And if you can actually see the red dot, that means this is where your bullet is going to land. For example, if you're moving, you cannot see this red dot. It disappears. That means your bullet's going to be inaccurate. And let me tell you why that's important. So let's say we're holding this long angle right here. We're zoomed in. So what you want to do is you want to slightly move over to the right every so slightly until the enemy is in sight. And the reason why that's important is because if you move over like this, you could potentially get the kill, but you're also exposing yourself a lot more. And if you can see right here, it takes like about a second for the red dot to reappear, versus if you're slightly peeking over like this, the red dot is coming back every like millisecond. You know, it's right here, it's always here. So as soon as an enemy pops up, you'll be able to quickly guarantee yourself that kill, versus when you're all the way over here and you're trying to peek like that. So how do you actually peek with the op with different agents? So obviously everybody loves to play Jett. So first things first, as we learned in their last tip, we're going to slowly peek this angle right here, and as soon as the enemy is in frame, suppose we missed the shot, we can dash to our left or right, but in this case, dashing to the right would just expose yourself to the enemy. So obviously, once you miss your shot after you peek, so you peek by slightly moving over, and then you miss, so you dash to the left. Same thing can be applied for here. So you peek, and you miss, you can dash away. But if you're holding a longer angle, it's also harder for your opponents, depending on their skill level, for them to hit you, for them to actually kill you from this far away. So even if you miss and you have cover right here, you can move over. And this is really helpful on the map Haven. So if you're using the op and you're defending on C long on the map Haven, what you want to do is there's a couple spots you can hold this angle from. So my favorite spot is right here, zoomed in twice, and I like to crouch and just give them a little bit of space right here, versus standing up and giving them more space, or even just like this. I just feel like because they're always going to be aiming at head level, so if you're crouched and you're zoomed in about right here, you have more than enough space to get this kill right here. And what's important with players like Omen and Jett is once you take this shot and say you get the kill or you miss, you can just back up here, and if you're Omen, you can change sides and they won't expect you to be on this side, and you can re-peek, because with your teleport they can't hear your teleport from that far. So there's no need to throw a blind or anything. You can just teleport away and they wouldn't know. So if you're holding the same site with Jett this time, you can go to the same spot if you like. You double zoomed in, crouched, try to get this kill. Say if you miss, you peek, you move over to the right side, which is a viable option obviously. Or say you take the shot again, you can dash over to the left side. But personally, I like to stand right here with Jett, double zoomed in right here, because that way if I miss the shot, I can just move over to the left side and I don't have to waste my dash. Versus if I'm over here and you take the shot and you don't want to use your dash, so now you're in this position, what you can do is you can smoke it off. But I don't like using the smoke because you're not giving yourself another chance at killing them, because you have the powerful angle, because it's a long sight and you're holding a one-shot kill. So what I would personally like to do is either be right over here, or you can dash over or if you're, you know, even if you're at the start of the round, even if you're Omen or Jett, you can get up here. If they're used to, if you've already held both these angles multiple times and they're expecting you, you can go up here, get ready for a fight. And this way you will most likely, since you're fully exposed in this angle, you're going for a risky play here. So say you do miss, in this scenario you will have to dash, or if you're Omen, you will just have to fall back. So what I just showed you was the defensive opping playstyle. And you know, obviously there's the opposite of that, the aggressive, flashy opping playstyle, which only a few agents are able to pull off. So those agents are, you know, with the top runner being Jett, obviously, with the most mobility. You know, agents like Omen with his shrouded step and Raze with her satchel are, you know, are the most mobile in this game. So they're able to pull off more aggressive peeks. So when you're peeking with the aggressive opping playstyle, you never want to be crouched. You never want to be crouched and peeking, because you're basically asking yourself to get killed, because you're moving so slow that anybody holding any angle will be able to see you first, and you're just a slow moving target. Versus when we were on defensive side, I said you're able to be crouched down and zoomed in, but that's because you're holding a defensive angle. You have the peeker's advantage of, you know, being zoomed in and just holding the angle. And lastly, we're going to be talking about off angles and repositioning. So off angles is anything that's not a generic angle. So if we go back to defending C, standing over here or standing over here, these are generic angles. An off angle is when we were up here trying to get the pick over here, right? This is an off angle. Same thing applies if you're headed towards B and you're defending B. Standing right here, this is a very generic angle, right? An off angle would be somewhere on top of the box, right? And you're trying to get the pick. Or I've seen even people stand back here, because if you're trying to get the pick on the person who's gonna peek mid, you can make it even harder for them by increasing the range between you, increasing the distance between you and them, so it's even more unlikely for them to kill you. So now what's repositioning? Repositioning can be, you know, can be done with any normal generic angle or off angle. It's just the ability to obviously reposition yourself after a shot. So what you want to do, so say you're holding this angle right here on mid, whoever comes, as soon as you take your shot, you want to be ready to take out your knife to gain the most mobility and be ready to jump off, you know, either left or right or backwards. Doesn't matter where it's all about repositioning, right? So say if you're down here and you take the shot right here and you miss, you get ready to take out your knife and move across. So now you don't want to peek the same angle again, because now the enemy team knows that you're standing in this area and he's going to be ready to have his crosshairs at the head level, even though you have the one bullet advantage, but he's still ready to give you that one tap from his Vandal or, you know, Phantom or whatever. What you want to do is you want to reposition to a different angle, right? So obviously, since you're holding this angle, you can move back further here and see if they try to push, and now you're holding back here instead of here. And if nobody pushes, obviously you can shift walk over here and get ready to peek, see if anybody came closer here, and you can start moving forward and you're repositioning yourself, which is the same thing we did when we're over here. When we take this first shot, you know, we're stuck either here, or we're gonna Jett to the left, or we're gonna dash to the left, or like I said, if you're Omen, you take this first shot and you're gonna teleport over there, right? That's repositioning. And those are all the tips that I have for you guys today. Let me know if I missed anything important. I did make a little opping montage in one of my recent videos, so I'll put the link for that in the top right. You guys can click it and watch that if you like. If not, I'll see you guys in the next video. I'm out.